Okay, keep going.
His brother did not make technically bad decisions, right? His brother stayed working the farm with dad. His brother continued to do his job every day. And yet, what's interesting is the brother who's living in the pigs pile, literally in the troughs, eating the slop that they fed the pigs in the mud, he realized, you know, if I go home and work for my dad, I'll get treated better as one of the servants. And so this young man finally realized, and he I don't know if you want to say he sucked it up, Buttercup, but he did, and he went home. Now here's the coolest part of the story. When he gets home, the father sees his son, and like God, when he sees us coming back to him, throws his arms up and says, throw a party, cut the fattest calf, get the biggest barbecue pit, get out, go to KFC or whatever your favorite place is and throw a party, because your son who was out partying and a drug addict or an alcoholic, or your daughter who was out doing the things, is home. So again, the environment is forever changing. And so what's interesting that I don't think changes, in my opinion, is God's love for us. In other words, God's love never changes. Our environment changes, we change, we make decisions. Just like someone made a decision to come on a hike, what a great decision. Bad things happened on that hike. A young lady lost her life. Wasn't because she was doing something wrong. And you got two brothers in the story, one did his job, and he felt that he didn't get a chance to have a party for himself. He's like, what the heck, Dad? I don't get it. And his dad's like, son, if you wanted a party, you just had to ask. And so you've got two different brothers. One chose the bad path, one chose the right path, if you will. And again, everything's always forever changing in the environment, but yet God, the Father, the creator of all, literally never changes his love for you, for me, for my nephew. When my nephew was sober, or when my nephew was on the side of the 5 freeway ODing, God's love never changed for him. When I was in prison, or when I was not in prison, God's love never changed for me. When Cece went through her divorce, or I went through my divorce, God's love never changed for us. And so it's important as we think about this message today, we see the beauty around us. It looks beautiful, and the environment is beautiful, and things are always changing, and you sometimes make good choices and bad things do happen. But remember, the prodigal son, he was in the pigs, and his brother's doing his job, and yet the father loved them both the same. And God loves all of you the same. Babe, what do you think when you think of that story?
I think that it's amazing that we can all be so completely different. Our insides, our outsides, how we look, how we think, how we talk. And God loves us still, no matter what.
That's true. So as you guys go about your daily business and you're making your decisions in your environment, which is always fluid and always changing, just remember this: the love that God shines down on us, it never changes. I don't care who you are, you'll always hear me say, I love you. That's something I do to every single guy. As y'all know, I call the men that I work with knuckleheads, affectionately. And one of the guys behind the camera just looked his eyebrows up like, yeah, I'm a knucklehead. Well, guess what? We're all knuckleheads, okay? We're all God's knuckleheads. I'm one of God's knuckleheads. She's one of God's knuckleheads. We're all God's knuckleheads. But here's the interesting thing. I am not afraid to tell a man who just did 50 years for double homicide, I love you. And that sometimes is scary for a man to hear another man say, I love you. They're not used to that. But guess what, world? Maybe you should go out and tell somebody you see, I love you. Doesn't mean you have to take them in your home. Carry a box of protein shakes in your car. Swing off the freeway one day, safely, make the decision to help change someone else's life. Give them a meal. Talk to them for a second. Show them that God loves them. You don't know. You might be like the brother who's in the pigsty, or the brother who's doing the job right, but you could impact their life and change the world. So just remember, as you do your daily activities, everything's fluid, but God, he's the same. Same yesterday, the same today, and the same tomorrow. No matter what happens, God loves you. Cece loves you. I love you. Be good, and you know the drill. Live positive.